everybody, welcome back to another episode of Meg's How-To Videos, where today we're going to go over how I built my very own flamethrower. Now, before you attempt this build, let's go over each and every one of these components you will need to acquire to build a flamethrower. First, let's start with the tank. Here we have a 20-pound scuba tank, and it's rated between 1,800 to 2,000 psi. Now trust me, this thing right here has a little bit of weight to it. So because of that, we're going to want to get a single tank backpack harness. This will allow us to hook it up, strap it to the tank, and carry it on our backs.
Next, you will need to acquire a 37 by 64 inch drill bit, a 3/8 18 MPT tap, a torch with built-in igniter, and some petroleum grade thread lock tape.
You will also need a 1 pound propane tank and 20 ounce CO2 tank.
To attach the torch head to the propane tank, we need to build an extension. This consists of a 1/4 inch MPT female by 1 inch 20 male propane tank adapter, a 1/4 inch MPT female by male adapter, and a 1/4 inch MPT male by 1 inch 20 female propane tank adapter. You will also need two 6-inch diameter hose clamps to mount the propane tank to the flamethrower. To equip the CO2 tank to the scuba tank, you're going to need to first build a pressurization system adapter. And this is made up of a paintball universal fill adapter, a 1/4 inch MPT male by 1/8 inch MPT male reducer, a 1/4 inch MPT female by female coupler, and a .302 CGA female by 1/4 inch MPT male extension connector.
Next, you will need to get a pressure washer gun that is rated to 2,000 psi or higher.
Once you've got the pressure washer gun, it's time to make the spray nozzle. This is made up of an M22 male to 1/4 inch MPT female reducer, a 1/4 inch MPT male to 1/8 inch MPT female reducer, a 1/8 inch MPT male to male adapter, and a 1/8 inch MPT female to female coupler.
Here, I have a 3-foot long hydraulic hose rated at 4,000 psi, with connectors already attached to each end.
The hose has both a female and male 3/8 MPT connector, one attached to either end. To install the hose, you're going to need some disconnects. Here we have a 3/8 MPT male by female quick disconnect and a 3/8 MPT male by male quick disconnect, and this will allow you to easily connect and disconnect your hose from the gun. Next we have a 3/8 MPT male by female hydraulic coupler and a 3/8 MPT female by male hydraulic coupler. And these hydraulic couplers were made by Tempco, and what's cool about them is they have a shut-off ball valve built inside. So let's say your tank is full of fuel and you want to disconnect your hose, you can disconnect it and not worry about any of the fuel from leaking out. Now that we've gone over all the parts required to build the flamethrower, let's start the build. With the fitting on top of the tank facing 90 degrees to your left, make a mark 1 inch from the bottom of the tank. Then grab a punch and set a dent so it's easier for you to begin drilling your pilot hole. Now, this tank is very thick. Expect to drill through about 1 inch thick of aluminum. When doing this, it took me about 6 minutes to drill with the 1/8 inch drill bit, and about 10 minutes with the 37/64 drill bit. Remember, you want these holes to be as straight as possible, so make sure to take your time when drilling these holes. Once you have finished drilling the hole, the next step is to tap it. You're going to need the 3/8 MPT tap, a wrench or handle to twist it, and some machine oil to lubricate it. When using a tap, make sure it's as straight as possible so you don't create any cross threads. I also recommend that every so often you re-lubricate the tap with some oil. Also, every few turns, make sure to back it off a half a turn to allow it to remove any of the metal shavings that might have built up. This will make the overall process go by easier. Once the hole has been tapped, we can now move on to installing the female hydraulic coupler. Remember, before installing, make sure to apply some of the petroleum grade thread lock tape. This will help prevent and seal any potential leaks that may occur. To tighten this fitting, I used a 15/16 wrench. Make sure not to over tighten this fitting. It doesn't need to be super tight, just make sure it's nice and snug. For this next step, trust me, it's not going to be an easy one. You need to remove the valve fitting on the top of the tank. Why? Because since we drilled a hole in it, there are now metal shavings trapped inside the tank and we need to get them out. To save you some time, I will tell you how I was able to remove this fitting. By laying the tank on its side, I used the hydraulic coupler we installed as a brace to prevent the tank from spinning. Using a 7/8 wrench, my dad and I both pried on the fitting. It took a while, but we eventually were able to break it loose. So expect that you will most likely need some help removing this fitting. Once you have emptied out the tank, apply some thread lock to the valve fitting and reinstall it to the tank. With the tank finished, let's move on to the pressurization adapter. Make sure to add some thread lock tape to each of the threaded fittings and attach each piece to one another in the order that is shown.
With the CO2 tank adapter put together, we can now connect it to the tank.
Make sure to install this plastic washer before fastening this adapter to the tank. Next, let's put together the hose. Locate the male end and attach the male hydraulic coupler. Make sure when you're done to flip the hose over to the female side and connect the female quick disconnect. Once finished, attach the male hydraulic coupler to the female hydraulic coupler on the tank.
Now, before we get to the finishing touches on this project, please give me a few seconds to talk about how you can possibly save money on this project and future projects of your choice. No, this isn't a sponsored video. I'm not going to try to advertise or sell you something. Instead, I'm going to be talking about a world crisis that's going on, which is waste. All around the world, landfills are filling up, and that's because people nowadays discard and throw out items for the most ridiculous reasons. Like, they don't have room to store it. They no longer want it. It stopped working. Well, if no one wants it and no one's going to fix it, you might as well salvage parts off of it. You would be amazed on how much money you can save by doing this. For example, here's a list of all the discarded items I salvaged and used just on this project alone. Now, I base all my prices off the lowest cost found online, so keep it in mind, I might have saved myself even more money than if I was to purchase these items at a convenience store. Hopefully by seeing this will help encourage you to go out there, salvage parts off of discarded items, save yourself money, and help reduce waste.
Last, let's put together the Flamethrower gun, and this is made up of two parts, the pressure washer gun and the torch. To begin, connect the male quick disconnect to the bottom of the pressure washer gun handle. Then assemble the pressure washer nozzle and attach it to the other end of the gun. As a bonus feature, I salvaged a protective valve guard off of a small acetylene tank and welded a washer to the back of it so I could mount it to the nozzle and turn it into a flame guard. As an extra bonus feature, I also made a side mount foregrip out of random parts that I salvaged from discarded items. Assembling the torch is pretty simple. First, put together the extension in the order that is shown. With the female end, plug that into the propane tank, and the male end is where you will attach the torch head.
Use the two 6-inch diameter hose clamps to fasten the torch to the pressure washer gun. Now that the gun has been fully assembled, the last step is to attach it to the hose. To make this thing look official, I decided to buy a Danger High Flammable sticker to place on the tank.
Well, there you have it. Now you know how I built my very own flamethrower. Now the hard part, going out and finding a place to test fire this. Don't worry, when I do, I'll make sure to put up a testing video and link it at the end of this one. Now, know that I'm not encouraging you guys to go out and build your own flamethrowers. I only put this video up to show you how I built my own. If you do decide to build your own, realize I am not liable for any damages or injuries that may occur. You're building it at your own risk. With that in mind, if you like this video, please click on the like button below. That and subscribe to my channel to see more how-to videos. If this video helped you out, or you have an idea for another how-to video, please leave it in the comments below. But until next time, God bless and good luck. Trust me, when it comes to this build, you're gonna need it.